If your foundation seems to be aging you rather than enhancing you, it's likely not your skin, but how you are applying your makeup. In today's video, I'm going to share 8 tips to ensure that you get a flawless, natural, and youthful complexion every single time. Let's get started. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and I'm a former makeup artist and the founder of BK Beauty Brushes, and my channel is all about helping the women over 40 find products and makeup routines, tips and tricks that make your routines easier, fun, and practical. So if you enjoy this type of content, I hope you'll subscribe, hit the bell notification, and let's dive in with tip number 1. So tip number 1 should be obvious, and that is skin prep. Skin prep is so important. If you fail to prep your skin properly before you apply your makeup, I don't care what foundation you are wearing, it's likely not going to look good either immediately thereafter or within a couple of hours. Skin prep is so key, especially when we get into our 40s and beyond. I'm 43 years old, and I can tell you that what worked for me 10, 15 years ago just does not work today. I could skip and overlook skincare in my 20s and it didn't matter, but no. If I do that today, trust me, I will regret it. So let's talk about skin prep and what I find is the perfect prep for skin, and that is what I call my skin prep trifecta. So a trifecta is 3 products layered from lightest to heaviest, and I start with a very, very lightweight, almost a watery, consistent hydrating toner. And I have 2 to share with you that I really enjoy. Keep in mind, my skincare products rotate a lot. I'm always trying new things. So the products I'm going to be sharing with you today are products that I stand behind, products that I use and love, but there are so many amazing products on the market. By any means, don't feel like these are must-haves and the only that I love, but these are some recommendations. I will tag everything in YouTube Shopping, so when you're watching this video, little visuals will pop up of the products and you can shop them that way. And I'll also list everything in the description box. Okay, let's start first with this complexion balancing tonic from City Beauty. This is the hydrating toner, and this is so lovely, you guys. It's very, very lightweight. Let me show you. Both of these are. It is almost like the consistency of water. Do you see that? Let's get a little closer. Oh, I'm gonna drip this all over my paper in front of me and my notes. Not a good idea, but I will just take it in the palm of my hand. I will press my hands together and I will press it on clean, dry skin. So immediately after getting out of the shower, I will apply this pretty quickly. I don't want my skin to get too dry or feel too dry. So I'll apply this, press it in, allow it to kind of absorb a minute or two, and then I'll go in with a lightweight serum. So this one is fantastic from City Beauty. I also love this one from PCA Skin. This is the hydrating toner. It too is very lightweight and watery. I think this is a little bit more expensive than the City Beauty if I'm not mistaken, but they are both fantastic. Okay, next you want to go into a lightweight hydrating serum. So something with hyaluronic acid is a must. If it can have peptides in it or any other ingredients to help plump the skin, that is also a bonus. So I brought 2 to share with you, and these are in different price points. So the first one is this one from Prequel. This is kind of more of like a very, very lightweight moisturizer necessarily than more of a serum, but to me, it's lightweight enough to act as my serum. So this is the half and half peptides and ceramides fluid moisturizer. This is, let me show you. This is a very, very thin, lightweight lotion, okay? I use this as a serum, so I use it right after my toner and before my moisturizer. So I like to use this as a hydrating serum. So I'll put this between my toner and my moisturizer. I will put some in the palm of my hand, press it into the skin, apply it underneath the eyes, apply it on the neck, and any that is left over on my chest. This just helps hydrate the skin in a very lightweight consistency, plump the skin, and then you can go in with something a little bit heavier. Now, this is probably my holy grail of the hydrating serums at the moment. It's quite a bit more expensive than the Prequel though, but I do want to share it. If you have really dry skin, this one is a lifesaver. In fact, I have a little story. I recently took a trip to New York, and let me tell you what this is first, then I'll tell you my story. So this is the Dr. Whitney Bowe P46 Peptide and Hyaluronic Acid Plumping Serum. This has peptides and hyaluronic acid in it. It targets skin elasticity and fine lines and wrinkles. It actually plumps the skin, and let me show you the texture of this. It also is very lightweight, but let me tell you, you want it to be lightweight so that you can layer it underneath your moisturizer without feeling like you have a lot of heavy products on the skin. But when I went to New York, I got into my hotel, I unpacked my bag, and I brought a moisturizer in a jar. And I thought there was product in there, that's why I packed it. When I opened it in my hotel, it was completely empty. There was no moisturizer left. And I had this moment of panic because I thought, oh gosh, my skin is gonna be dried up like a raisin by the end of this trip because it's cold, it's snowing in New York. It was like, under 30 degrees. I got by that weekend by just using my toner and this as my moisturizer day and night, and my skin did not look dry at all. I was shocked. I was completely shocked. I did not think that this would provide as much moisture as it did by itself. It is incredible. But because it's lightweight, you can still layer a moisturizer on top of it and it does not feel heavy at all. So I will apply this on the skin and then I will move into my moisturizer. I have two that I wanted to share with you. Both of these are fantastic. So the Revie Beauty Signature Skin Dream Barrier Cream. This one's nice. This one's very rich. Let me show you the texture of this. This is a nice, rich consistency. I usually do about 2 pumps. This one can work as your nighttime or your morning cream. It's very rich, but it's not too heavy. So if you apply this on the skin, just give it some time to absorb into the skin and then go in and apply your makeup. And it's not too much, but yet it is rich enough to really nourish your skin at night and feel like that heavier creams that we like to use at night. Now, this one is a really great kind of daytime only moisturizer in my opinion. This is the Merit Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. And they added the name priming to the name of the product because it's really meant to be like a primer and a moisturizer in one. It's really nice. It's a clean moisturizer. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. It's a good viscosity. And it also really preps the skin and primes it for makeup. So these are two that I like and wanted to share. There are so many amazing moisturizers on the market that I've shared in the past too, but these are two that I'm currently using. Now moving into tip number 2, which is less coverage and better placement. Now for this tip, I really want to encourage you guys to look for SPFs that have a tint to them, that have a little bit of coverage. This is my holy grail. I've used this for years. This is the Elastin Hydra Tint. It has an SPF of 36, and I have 2 here to show you because this is obviously a brand new tube, and this is one that looks like I should dump it and throw it in the trash, but I will tell you, it has looked like this for 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I'm still getting full pumps out of this. And I always like to share this fun fact about this product because this product is expensive, but there is zero waste. Zero waste. I don't know what they've done with this packaging, but you can get every single last drop out of this. I'm telling you, it is amazing. So it kind of makes me feel better about I think it's $75 price tag that comes with it. I love this because this is going to give me a little bit of coverage. For a tinted SPF, it actually gives pretty good coverage, but keep in mind, it's just a tinted SPF. This is not a foundation. It's not designed to give you full coverage, but what it will do for someone that doesn't need a lot of coverage is it will even out your skin tone. It will slightly cover imperfections, which will allow you to use less foundation. And that, my friend, is really the benefit here. It also wears beautifully under every foundation. I have worn this for years, which means I've put it under liquid foundation, I've put it under cream, I've put it under powder, I've put it under matte foundations, glowy foundations, and it looks good under all of them. It has a radiance to it, but it's not sticky or dewy or wet. It's really the holy grail of tinted SPFs, in my opinion. The downside is that I think it only comes in 1 shade, so this is not gonna work for everybody, but it's pretty flexible if you're like a light to a medium skin tone. I love this one. So the really tip here is to use products like a tinted SPF that will allow you to use less of the foundation. It's all about using just as much as you need and nothing more than that. So I'll go in and apply this first. Then by the time I get to my foundation, I can really kind of take a look at where I actually need coverage. And that is the key here, is just applying foundation in the areas that you need it. So for me, that's always the center of the face. That's where the sun hits my face. That's where I have the most discoloration or spots, sunspots, all of that. So I will start with applying my foundation in the center of the face, and then I will work my way out. The first place that you put your brush is where you're gonna deposit the most product. So if I take my brush with foundation and I go and apply it on my jawline, I'm applying more product in an area that I don't really need it. Not what you wanna do. You wanna apply it where you need it first and then press it onto the skin and work your way out. That way, when you get to the areas that don't need a lot of product, there's very little product on your brush. Tip number 3 is look for foundations that have a natural or a satin finish. Now, this is coming from someone who loves a matte finish, meaning I don't usually love a lot of shine or glow or dewiness, and that's simply because I live in a very hot part of the country. I live in Texas, and most of the year it's very hot here, very humid and sweaty, and so I prefer mattes because they tend to last better throughout the day. But I will say a heavy, flat matte coverage is just going to accentuate texture, fine lines, wrinkles, and we don't want that. So I really like foundations that have a natural finish, which means they're not gonna look really dewy and glowy, but they're also not gonna be flat and matte. They're just gonna look kind of natural in the middle. It's a very good kind of moderate place to be. Satin finishes are also in that category because they're gonna give some radiance to the skin, but they're not gonna look dewy or wet. You can still get that natural, youthful glow with longevity, because sometimes when we are looking at really dewy, glowy products, the longevity benefit is not there because it tends to stay wet on the skin. It just doesn't quite self-set like more of a natural or a natural matte. So look for words like satin, natural, natural matte, radiant. Those are some of the words that I would look for when you're shopping for foundations. Now I have a couple of recommendations here, you guys. The Haus Labs is one of my current favorites. This has a real radiant glow to the skin, but again, it's not dewy or wet looking. It's like a self-setting kind of radiant finish. It's almost like a matte radiance. It's very long wearing. What this looks like after you immediately apply it, it tends to look that way hours and hours later. I don't get overly shiny with this. It's a very reliable foundation. The coverage is nice and buildable. I would say you're going to get a good medium coverage from this. It's really, really beautiful. I love it. And I am the shade 210 light medium neutral in this product. I also wanted to share the best skin ever from Sephora. This is a 16-hour wear natural finish foundation, and this one is fantastic. This is actually what I have on today, and this will give some radiance to the skin, but again, it's not overly dewy or glowy. It's very long wearing, 16 hours. It's beautiful. This is fantastic. And then I have a new one that I just bought recently. Well, it's new to me. This has been around forever, but this is the Sheer Glow from Nars. I'm the shade Punjab, and this is really beautiful on the skin as well. This does have a little bit more of a dewy finish, but once you set with powder in all the right areas, I find this to wear beautifully all day, and it's very lightweight. Tip number 4 is apply foundation in little bitty layers. So now let's rewind and think back to tip number 1, which I told you to use a tinted SPF. So now we're getting on to applying our foundation. Do that pump or pump and a half, whatever you think you're gonna need, but do not feel like you need to apply it all. Start with little bitty layers. What I like to do is I actually like to take my brush, apply my foundation to the back of my hand. I will go in and work my brush into the product, but I never just scoop up all the product and go to the face. That is a no, no, no. That is a guaranteed way to over apply foundation, or over apply it in one area, and by the time you get to the other side of the face, you actually have to apply more product because you've already applied it there and it's already set and dried and you can't move it. So pick up a little bit and then kind of work it into your hand and work it into the brush. Then go to the skin and apply little bitty layers. Assess, take a step back, look in the mirror, decide if you need any more coverage. You might not, or you might need a little extra, and then go back and apply more where you need it. A little bitty layer. I like to tell people, you may wear a lot of products. Like if you were to line up all the products I use, maybe there's, I don't know, a dozen, but I don't like to feel or look like I have a lot of makeup on. So even though I have a lot of products, I have little bitty layers of those products. So it's not a lot of product actually on my skin, if that makes sense. Tip number 5, and that is to really press the product into the skin, especially to start. So I like to use either the 106 or the 101 foundation from BK Beauty, which is my brand. Our 101 is our best seller. My personal favorite is the 106. Where are you? Right here you are. Here's the 106. Usually you'll see me use the 106 in our videos, but the 101 is fantastic and it's our best seller, and both of them I will use in a similar way. The difference with the 106 is if you like to buff product into your skin in circular motions, this one is great. If you like to press but then kind of sweep, this one is great. Now tip number 5 is about pressing your product into your skin. So with the brush, I will start by just pressing the product into the skin to build coverage and blend out. As I'm pressing, I'm going to be moving the brush around the face. So I'm not just staying in one little area. No, I'm pressing and moving. And what that is doing is it's allowing me to spread that product and get more coverage, surface coverage over the face, right? So I don't build up too much in one area. Now, once I've got the coverage that I want, then I will lightly sweep and swipe to blend out the edges. What you don't want to do is take a lot of product, go to the face, and just start painting like you're painting a wall. That is how you'll end up with streaks, or you'll just end up with too much product and not the coverage that you're looking for. So really take the time to press it into the skin, work it into the skin, really help it kind of meld into the skin. Then use the longer fibers to sweep and swipe and shear out. And tip number 6 is to avoid applying foundation underneath the eyes. Save your concealer for that. And I always like to apply foundation first and then go in with my concealer. Concealer typically is the product that has the most pigment and the most coverage. It's the heavier of all the products that you're going to use. So if you go and apply your concealer first and you're looking at a bare face, you're likely to over apply concealer in areas that you don't need it because foundation will likely give you that coverage in that area. So So apply your foundation first, but avoid the eye area. I like to kind of keep my foundation from here and below because again, concealer is going to give you the coverage you need. If you're layering foundation there and then going back in with concealer, you just have too much product that is really unnecessary. And for concealer, really look for lightweight concealers. Right now, I am loving, where did you go? I am loving, I have so many concealers I love, but in today's video, I use this one from RMS. This is a Refresh Eye Brightener. It has an SPF of 30. This is a very lightweight concealer. It has a peach undertone to it. I have the shade Cherish, so it's gonna kind of work as a color corrector. You can use this in conjunction with a concealer if you need full coverage, but I encourage you to see what kind of coverage you can get first before you go and add another product. And I actually found that I got the coverage I need alone from this today. That might not always be the case. Some days I need more coverage than others, but today this worked. Tip number 7 is to set strategically and not all over the face. Now we're talking about setting powder, okay? I like to use a lightweight, finely milled loose powder. I have a few here to share with you guys. I have one that I just discovered that I love, but it is a small fortune. And I think you guys will cancel me if that's the only one that I recommend. So I'm gonna recommend a more affordable option first. This is the Sephora Blur It powder. It's a pink powder. They come in different colors. This one's really nice. It is a lightweight, slightly brightening powder. It comes with a little velour puff, but I actually like to use a brush that I have control over. So I'm gonna show you, today I use the BK Beauty N17 and I use the darker side. This side is designed to pick up powders, not just necessarily loose powder, but pick up powder and apply it in a very light, controlled fashion. It's not a brush that's gonna pick up a ton of product, so it gives you total control. So I will pick up the powder on my brush. I like to start on this part of the face because again, the first place that you put your brush is where you deposit the most product, and I don't necessarily want to apply a lot of powder underneath my eyes. So I will start here, then I will go up and I will tap it underneath the eyes to set that concealer. Then I like to go around my nose. I like to go in my smile lines because that is where foundation will move throughout the day because I'm smiling, I'm talking, there's a lot of expression happening there, and that's when product might move. So I wanna make sure I set there. So for me, my area is really my T-zone. It's my forehead, it's around my nose, it's underneath my eyes, and it is right around my mouth. I really don't usually need to apply powder here. Makeup usually sits and stays. It doesn't move around there, so I'll do that. Sometimes I will go, if I've over applied blush or bronzer, and I might tap my powder brush right around the perimeter of that blush and bronzer just to soften it, but that's just kind of a case by case when I need it. But I will always powder just the T-zone, and if I can get away with just that, I will do just that. When we over powder, that can also magnify texture in the skin, so that's why we don't want to, again, apply it where we don't need it. Now, tip number 8 is to use a hydrating setting spray and then kind of press it into the skin with the brush. So I have a couple options here for you. I love this new one from Say Beauty. It's the City Set. I also love the Jane Iredale Palm Mist Hydration Spray. This one's so great. These two products basically kind of, what they do is after you've powdered the skin and you apply a little layer of either of these setting sprays, they kind of take away that powdered look. It helps the powder kind of like meld into the skin and become one with your foundation. So it doesn't look flat and matte anymore. It doesn't necessarily look glowy, but it just looks more natural. It gives your foundation that kind of set in look. Do you know when you apply powder and sometimes you look in the mirror and it's just really dry and flat, but then 30, 45 minutes later, an hour later, you look in and it looks more natural because your skin has produced natural oils that have made that powder look more natural. This is what that does. It basically accelerates that process. Now, the extra little thing you can do on top of that is after your makeup's done, take your foundation brush and just kind of tap it over that setting spray. You've set the setting spray on the face and now you're just tapping your brush on to just accelerate that kind of setting benefit. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, I would love to hear in a comment down below what you learned and what you're going to take with you the next time that you are applying your foundation. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. I hope I see you in my next video and have a beautiful day. Bye.